Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Murphy Code, where I get the name right this time. Yes, 5 points. In the, in the last episode, the party went out into the radioactive waste and discovered a large area that was filled with radiation and some ruins that was so radioactive it broke their radiation detector. They found a bunker that was less radiated and found some documents that, it turns out, were from the Elder, who were going to be attacking this planet and wiping the evidence. As they tell their Inquisitor this via Falk's phone, the Inquisitor informs them to try not to die and that they'd be coming to pick them up. And as they step out into the wilds, they encounter a war zone. Oop, I'm still in DM mode for that. I gotta fix that. So yes, you can see bombs going off.
Brad is distraught. The car is gone. They have no way of getting out now.
Bombs continue to fall. Crash, crash.
We need to get back in the bunker now.
Nope. Everyone get back in now.
You all head back into the bunker. The bombs continue to fall, and you see the walls starting to crack and chip.
You're sitting ducks here.
Fox, is there anything that the Inquisition can do at the moment?
I mean, they already tried to send people, so probably not.
It'll be cannon fodder by the time they get here.
No, look on the right side. At least the death will be instantaneous.
Yeah.
I'd rather die in glorious battle, not buried under a bunch of rubble.
Well, in that case, you better figure out how to turn this into glorious battle.
Do you think it's possible that maybe this bunker might have an underground path leading back to the city?
I don't know why you're looking at me like I'm suddenly the bunker expert. I just know what radiation's happening in here.
Might as well start looking around.
Let me check the reactor for a moment.
We never did check there.
So, do you guys get new radiation detectors, or do you just leave them by the door, or what do you do?
Yeah, Brad is going to take a new radiation detector.
Probably
thing,
would
sure
help
thing.
so that we don't have another exploded fox.
Okay. So, folks, do you lead the path?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you guys start heading down that path, and as you step closer, the radiation begins to rapidly spike.
Yeah.
And it starts to climb the closer you go down that path.
Still steady at the moment.
It continues to increase and increase.
Buzzy.
Folks.
This may not be a good. Go ahead.
Folks, your foot has started to melt.
Oh, hey. Look at that.
Okay.
I mean, I can't say that's not normal. I also just can't say that that is normal.
You can all smell the scent of burning rubber inside your suits.
Okay.
We got it.
Turning back.
Getting back now.
But yeah, based on your exploration, you can summarize that path leads to the same area that the big burst of radiation is coming from.
Well, that's something at least. But where we are now, we're basically stuck in the middle of a bomb. The moment this place gets hit, we're toast.
And there's not a single bit of artillery or any sort of weaponry we can use to fight back or just get ourselves back there.
No, from what you can determine, this place was put out in the middle of nowhere because they didn't want anyone being able to find it. The entire building shakes. And the cracks start to reach towards the floor.
We need to get out of here. We need to find some place further underground. Try to get undercover. And away from this thing.
Is it? I suppose we can look to see if there is a deeper pathway, but at this point, we may need to take a chance with the artillery fire and just run back to civilization.
It's several kilometers away.
Desperate times, desperate measures.
Okay,
Gun down before we even make it.
so I've prepared a little map for you guys. Now, for warning, this map has trees and water on it. Those aren't in there. This is just to give you an idea of the topography, okay?
Okay.
Just so you guys can understand where things are in relation to each other. So, you guys are underground over here in the top. And there's a small path that goes down. And then there's another path that, like, the area where you found all that information is over, like, in this area here. So that's the little quarters there that was locked off. And this was the entrance. This is where the bunker is that you entered from.
I can't see anything on my side.
You can't? Oh, did I forget to turn off? Oh,
I don't have it.
right, your internet. That's fine. Basically, uh, it's a T shape. So the top of the T is the area you guys are, and the bottom of the T is where the radiation is coming from.
Hmm.
Does that make it a little easier?
I just can't envision it properly, I guess. I'm not too sure. I don't know if I should be here right now.
We want you here, though.
Hang on.
Why is that so big?
Sharing the Murphy code. Can you see my stream, Niku?
Oh, right. I think I know what the issue was. Were you watching off the stream? Because I forgot to refresh the screen so that so the people watching couldn't see the map.
No.
It's refreshed now, but yeah, it's a T shape. regardless, if you still can't envision it, just know that there's one exit and there's bombs outside. Alright? So, this is the general topography of the area. Like I said, there's no trees, there's no water or anything like that. It's just mostly flat land. You guys have to work out what to do.
All right, so this way was the room where we found the Eldon message, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And this
down here
is
the reactor,
and this is the entrance.
and this is the entrance.
And it's just a very, very rough map to give you just some sort of visual. Because,
All right.
so yeah. I'll give you guys, say, 5 minutes to figure out what you want to do before the place crumbles.
Ah, jeez. If we stay here, we're screwed. If we leave, we're screwed.
Yeah, basically.
You're not helping.
At this point, there's no other way to escape. There's only two roads. One of them was a death trap for us, and the other one's a dead end.
So it's 18 right now, and your countdown ends.
So what do we do? You know what?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go outside and see if we can't salvage that car.
It fell into a hole.
Surely we can go down the hole to find it.
Hey, you have fun with that.
Alright. Roll me stealth.
What, me?
Mhm.
Jeez. Oh, jeez. 18.
Alright. So, as the bombs explode and they continue to decimate the ruins, and you dash out, you notice that their fire is mostly localized around here. You guys are only getting hit by the blasts that miss. Because, orbital bombardment is more of an art than a science.
They're more focused on trying to get rid of the reactor, it looks like.
But yes, you dash out, and because they don't notice you, they don't re-aim the bombs towards you, and you're able to get down and duck under the wreck of the car. It's pretty much just absolutely destroyed, but the main body of the car is still intact. It's completely fried, but the car frame is intact. Yes, there we go.
It's going to take me forever to fix this, which we don't have time for.
All right, let's see how lucky you are. I'm gonna need you to make a dex save.
I'm going to die here.
So that's a failure. There's a large crashing sound as those of you at the entrance watch a bomb fly right towards where Brad went. And you will hear the the whistle. And Brad, you're looking at the car and you take the full brunt of the explosion because you didn't dodge in time, and you feel shrapnel hit your arms and your body and completely tear through your radiation suit.
Damn it!
You start taking radiation damage.
He's going to rush back inside immediately.
Alright, do you try to do it sneakily or do you just dash in?
He's dashing in.
Alright, you dash in. Because again, the radiation's still quite high outside. So, do you dash for a radiation suit?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see how much radiation damage you took.
Oh no!
Don't worry, don't worry. That was your luck roll. You take 2 radiation damage, and something may or may not have happened.
Oh no.
You managed to get the suit on though. It's not as effective as your suits, but it's better than nothing.
Damn it.
Got hit by a stray blast from the looks of it, did you? You alright?
I'll live. For now. The car's a total wreck.
What exactly needs to be fixed by... Well, what exactly needs to be fixed?
Now, the whole frame seems to be fine, but after that blast, I don't think there's been much saving it.
I can go and take a quick look.
You're gonna get blasted out there if you do.
Well, well, at this point, we've got 3 options. We stay here and die. We take our chances out there and not potentially die, or we try and fix the car. Owen doesn't even wait for a response. He just immediately goes out to try and see what he can do about the car.
Oh, by the way, your time's up.
Yeah, we saw.
Sorry.
There's no time. We need to go.
Do you all leave? I need you all to make just a quick dex throw because, yeah, the place is coming down.
We need to go.
Okay, so Owen, you're a bit too slow, but you also said you were going before anyone else, so I'll hand wave that and say you got out ahead of time just before it started to crumble. Alright. And we need Ninja.
Wait, I was there this whole time?
Yeah.
I was under the impression I wasn't there yet. Because I missed last week. I would have done something different if I known.
Oh,
I didn't.
I'm sorry. Ninja wasn't here last week?
No, she wasn't.
No, she
No,
wasn't.
I wasn't. I know what had happened from the summary and such like that, but
I'm sorry.
with the group.
I got it. Alright, so hey guys, do you know I have a bad memory?
Oh,
So, really quick, could someone remind me what I said Ninja's character was doing last week?
If I
she was
remember,
tagging along in the car.
yeah,
what?
she was tagging. Well, she was tagging along.
So, yes, you were there, Ninja, but because I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Hey guys, do you know I have a bad memory? But
Yeah.
so yes, if you want to do something differently, I will give you the chance since you would have not since you would have been. I should have mentioned that. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's a little too late at this point. We're
No,
past those parts.
I'm the DM. I decide when it's too late.
I know, but the thing is that I haven't really been thinking about what to do because I wasn't sure where I was with you guys. So I was under pressure. Okay, I guess I'll come in later. So I had no plans.
I'm very sorry about that, but
No,
I will give you like a couple minutes extra just to give you time to think on things, okay?
okay.
Cause you do have warpy stuff, so you guys aren't rushed out of the thing just yet. You're discussing Owen's trip going out. Besides, you all succeeded.
Okay.
If I
So-
don't keep going.
No, Ninja. You have a little bit of time before everyone starts to flee because the thing is coming down on you. Is there anything you'd like to say before everyone runs out, or would you like to cut to when everyone has run out?
Let's just go when everybody has run out because everybody's already done what they wanted to do, and I kind of need to like catch up. And I'm already so far in the moment in this moment, so I'll just stay in the moment.
Alright. Again, I'm sorry about this. I'd forgotten Ninja wasn't here last week because, well, her character was. So, you guys are now outside the building as it has just crumbled. Hawks, you
Ye-
get a message from your Inquisitor. The message is, you guys have left the area that they're bombing, right?
Fox just like looks up and then looks back. He's like, oh, yes is probably the answer you want to hear, but no.
You get a response back that is just profuse swearing before the other Fox cuts them off and says, "Oh, I'm probably not meant to send that bit."
Yeah, you're probably not.
And so yeah, that's what happens with you. The rest of you, you guys are now out in the open, and you've got time. Do you sprint to get out of the bombardment range, or do you try to sneak away so that they don't notice you and try to bomb you?
At this
Say we
point,
tried to sneak out. The car is a lost cause. We don't have time to fix it.
sneaky deaky.
All right, stealth time.
I'm bad at stealth.
Heavy armor.
It's fine. I'll have to. So, Owen and Louisa, you're all kind of wearing pretty bright outfits. So, they do sort of notice you briefly, and one of the shots does start to fly towards you guys. However, Vaux and Brad, you spot a shallow ditch and you manage to pull everyone down into it just before the blast goes off. You're buried with dirt and dust. Go on.
Get down.
Just to answer, Brain, that's a mistake. I'll be fixing that later. But yes, you will just barely manage to avoid the bomb, but you get the impression that they're probably going to fire at you again. But now, though, to put this into perspective for you guys, you are probably. Roll 20. So wonderful. Such a wonderful thing. You guys are probably about this far away from where they're bombing. Though they've stopped bombing briefly, so you get the impression that if you poke your heads out, they'll probably fire at you. But a moment later, they go back to bombing this area.
Okay, go, go.
Move, 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 move.
Alright, roll another stealth check.
Tedious.
More
This is
still.
very tedious.
We'll have all the time to complain once we're safe.
Like
I'm
always.
gonna say that's a 13 because again you shouldn't have heavy armor. You guys managed to get away. You can hear the bombs in the background.
Like they're not chasing us. Come on, we need to get out of here before we get caught in the explosion.
Damned Eldar.
Who again, out of character? Who again is causing all these explosions?
The Eldar.
Aliens.
Xenos.
They're aliens.
Yeah.
And they're trying to blow it up to cover up the evidence that they were ever here.
Lucy kind of dusts off her cloak a bit and then looks a little bit annoyed at Fox because she goes, It seems we love to be put in the crossfire things, doesn't it?
Hey, you can't blame me for this one. I didn't know about this one.
I don't think any of us knew. We were just trying to find an artifact, and the Eldar got to it first.
Which
We
could,
are
in the eyes
unlucky
of
with
most,
one.
be seen as a waste of time.
Not entirely. The most we got out of this was information. But we need to continue living first. Get out of here.
And we know, and now we know who took it, so we know where to get it.
And we need to keep moving.
So, yeah, I'll fix that. I'll look it over after the game. Kira, I dipped. Let's just say. One sec, I gotta say.
Bless you.
Thank you. So, I need you all to make a perception check.
Perception. Okay.
Perception.
+5.
I'm outraged.
+5 to perception. I got a nat 20 in perception.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, while the rest of you don't really see anything unless Owen says otherwise. Alex, you gotta roll.
Yep. Sorry about that. Perception.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Owen very much does not say otherwise.
Okay.
So, Owen, you see an orc. Brad, you see this sleek, almost pitch black sheep sail from the direction of the Hive City right towards the Eldar ship. And it's a blink and you miss it moment.
It was a ship?
Yep. Skyship.
Ooh.
You know,
He looks
spaceship.
back. He looks back to see where it was headed. Straight towards the Eldar ship.
Yep. Roman,
Yeah.
you saw an orc.
Owen just grabs. Who's like the nearest person next to him?
God, no.
Uh,
So yeah,
probably Brad.
he grabs Brad by the collar and like pulls him like inches away from his, like face to face. They're like inches away from each other. And he says, "Did you see that?"
I saw something. It was headed straight for the Eldar ship.
It was an orc.
Brad just stares. Are you making fun of me?
All I saw was green and it was big.
That wasn't an orc, dude.
Fairly sure I saw an orc.
Whatever, we're wasting time. We need to get out of here.
As Owen is saying all this, there's a loud explosion from behind. And you guys turn around to see the Eldar ship is completely gone. Like it's, crumbling to pieces and falling to the ground.
Wait, it's gone or it's like breaking
It
apart?
exploded.
It exploded.
Well, it's a good thing we got out of that one. Brad is still coughing from radiation poisoning.
Folks, you hear, this is Folks, 27. And, he's a pretty high-ranking Folks. And, he says to you, now it was in that tower that they were bombing, right? The artifact?
Yeah, it was
Oh.
where the reactor was.
Folks telephone.
Presumably.
You see the ship come down and land right in the middle of where the radiation was the worst. Folks, you get a response back. You could have warned us about the radiation.
I mean, you could have gotten here sooner.
The ship takes off, and the bottom half is noticeably melted.
Oh.
It flies away, and then it comes down very shakily before it sort of goes thunk and lands with a sort of a thap as it almost seems like thudded to the ground. The door opens, and you find a ship filled not with people, but with Folkses.
Oh, God.
Oh, this will be lovely.
This is coming out of your paycheck, 246.
Bold of you to assume I get a paycheck.
How do you think you get candy with that card we give you? That is your paycheck. Hand it over. The Folks makes a grabby motion.
Fox picks up a rock and gives them a rock instead.
Fox takes it and eats it and steps into the ship. We have secured the artifact with many countable losses, namely, Fox number 333.
That's fine. The triple-digit ones are always unlucky anyway.
Yeah.
Can we leave now?
Hop on. If the ship still works, we can definitely leave.
I'm dying.
Unfortunately, no one told us about the radiation, so we might not be able to take back off.
You're a hive mind. You should have known already.
I mean, you think.
You know everything I know? You know how to drive.
You want to test me on that?
Pardon?
You want to test me on that?
Sure, go ahead.
Please don't
Fox.
let them drive.
Fox confidently goes up like a child who has like opened up a flight simulator and has no idea what any of the buttons do.
You watch as Fork 77 takes off Aviator's pilot and goggles and places them on Forks 246.
No.
I've seen you guys do this enough before. I know what I'm doing.
Is this really the time for this?
Is it ever the time for anything? Gotta learn to live a little.
Alright. So,
Brad's
You said
eyelid is twitching.
you settle into the
Looks
seat.
annoyed.
Alright, let's see if you can close the door.
He hits the first button he sees.
The door closes.
See you guys. I know what I'm doing.
At least
We're
get
a
us
hive
back.
mind.
At least get us back to the Hive City, please.
Fork 77 looks to you guys and then says, I would recommend strapping in. And you see them trot over to a dog seatbelt thing, and they step into it and the seatbelt goes chunk.
Are there actual human-sized seatbelts around?
No.
Oh.
Of course there's not.
You hear the ship start sputtering to life with a
Brad tries to grab onto something.
Fox, do you press another button?
He totally presses another button.
The steering wheel comes out. It's mouth-shaped, so you can bite on it.
He bites on it.
Alright. As you lower it down with your head, the ship begins to float into the air. And as you lift your head up, the ship begins to sink.
Owen has this look on him that is kind of the slow realization this may be the day he dies.
Yep. Same with Owen. Same with Brad.
Alright. Kira, would you make me your 1d20 roll?
Ugh.
So, you all fly back to the Hive City without issue.
Oh, thank God.
You come down to land, the ship, thuds a bit, like, because it doesn't have any landing gear anymore, but you all arrive safely. And are immediately pulled into a decontamination chamber and thoroughly scrubbed. And, Brad, you're given some medication to help with the radiation poisoning.
Thank you.
Congratulations, folks. You now have a driving license.
Hooray!
Brad is still going to be driving land vehicles, though.
Folks 27 walks over and then says, well, I guess you proved me wrong.
I've Brain.
He hands you back the rook.
Oh, sweet. Fox takes the rock with him.
So, you guys are back in the Hive City. The ship you guys came on is no longer docked because they left to do other things. And Folks 27 looks to you guys and then they sort of roll their shoulders a bit and they say, well, we gotta get this repaired up before we can be spacefaring, and we probably need to seal the artifact so it doesn't keep radiating out lethal levels of radiation. So, did you find out why it's doing that though?
Why specific? Well, if out of character question, DM. Outside of the Eldar's note saying that the humans here made it, did it give any information as to why it was leaking?
The only information you have is that they experimented on it.
Owen gives the letter that he found to that Brad found to the fox in question, and he says the only thing that we know for certain is that the people in that bunker were experimenting on it, which is likely why it was leaking radiation.
Leave it to the Eldar to not be able to do a Folks's job. Folks 27 turns to 246. Do you want to lick it?
He nods.
The two begin to walk towards where they've basically made a heavily reinforced place to put it so that it's not leaking constant radiation. Two enter, but only one leaves.
Oh. Is it Fox 246 or is it the other Fox?
Let's see who went first. Kira, heads or tails?
Tails.
Okay. You lost.
No.
That means Folks 246 is the one that walked out.
Dang it.
So, you saw the other fox basically melt around. So, what happened when you entered is you both were suddenly slammed with the radiation, and it was all like wobbly and stuff. The radiation has thankfully lowered a bit because it hadn't been in one place and slowly built up yet. So it was still quite strong, but it wasn't like splat strong. So you both play poor tail air, and Hawks number 27 won, so they get to lick it first. You watch as they walk forward, and they lick it, and then they go splat and cover the orb. And as their body covers the orb, the radiation begins to lower. You walk out dejected, knowing that you can no longer lick it, because it is now Fox.
That would be gross.
Yeah. What are you, cats? You can't lick another Fox. So yes, Kira, you emerge.
You licked it first. I will never live this down.
Uh,
I mean, technically, I lived it down, but I'll never live this down.
Let me guess. He exploded.
It was glorious. He got to lick the forbidden gobsmacker. Do you know how many chances you get to lick the forbidden gobsmacker? One. You get one chance. So jealous.
I would imagine, considering your mind and, well, just hive in general, that you would, well, get that opportunity very frequently.
Oh my gosh, you've used my argument against me, and you're right. I can just steal that experience, and I don't have to blow up for it.
Do you attempt to try and steal the experience?
Yes.
Alright, so you close your eyes and you all watch as Folk sort of stands there completely still and like ears upright, they tilt a bit, and then Folks, you taste it. And you all watch as Folks explodes and then reforms.
Okay, but the important question is what did the radiation filled thingy taste like?
It tasted like, do you know, now I've used this analogy before, but do you know the Sparkle Rock candy, the one that goes crackly in your mouth?
Yeah, pop.
Yeah. So it was similar to that, only instead of it being like Sparkle Rocks, it was like you were the stars and you were sparkling all over your body.
Right, so it was pop rocks, but like galactic pop rocks. Gotcha.
Yeah. Galactic pop. Galactic thingy.
Fox is very pleased with this outcome. The candy worth dying for. Didn't even have to die for it.
So yes, you open up your eyes and they're all looking at you.
The fact
Please
that you
never
all,
do that.
I can 100% guarantee I will probably do that again.
Ugh.
You see one of the other folks that was on the ship 333 glance over at this, get the same idea, and then do this exact same thing. They split open and then they reform.
God damn it, it's spreading.
Another folks exits the ship, sees this, splat.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
realized something, but I think I have to ask it privately.
Alright.
Rat is getting out of there.
Yeah, Louisa just rolls her eyes. She has her and just heads towards her room.
So,
I mean, we're not at the ship. We need to find an inn or some place to stay for a
Or
while.
someplace that she just finds someplace to take it. She's tired of this already.
Yeah.
Yep.
contract. The contraband would have sorry. Forget I said that. You guys didn't hear anything.
Okay.
So, you guys are currently in confinement. Because, you know, they gotta get rid of the radiation. So, you do have rooms, and you're actually being kept mostly separate from everything as they slowly cycle the radiation out. It's gonna take quite a bit.
Especially for Brad.
He's probably spent most of the evening vomiting his guts out.
I have a joke about that, but I'm not gonna say it.
So, it's up to it. So, as the next day comes, you know, Folks decides to taste the forbidden dog treat a few more times.
No.
And you guys are cleared of your radiation, except for Folks, who is apparently lethally radioactive, but they sort of just spray them with something, and then they say, "Look, you might want to decommission this, Folks."
Let me guess, he's lethally irradiated.
They nod.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's fine.
You're not fine.
It's fine.
We're going in the incinerator 246.
It's fine.
You are not fine.
I
Stop
can
lying to
literally
yourself.
look. I don't have a Geiger counter on me anymore, and I look at you and I can hear the ticking.
That sounds like PTSD. I'm not a
No.
therapist.
No, PTSD is where my anger comes from. It's not where the ticking comes from.
The guy looks to you and just says, "You're literally glowing."
Oh, thank you. I've been doing some new things with my fur.
Yeah.
Let's just get on the ship.
You
You're going into quarantine until we throw you in the incinerator. End of story.
Have you considered not doing that?
If we didn't do that, you would irradiate pretty much everything else.
Oh, this planet seems fine with it.
The rest of the ship isn't.
Yeah.
I warned
But
you about this.
Now you just said people couldn't touch me, which is a lie. You could touch me. You just die.
Interrogator
That's
Fox, are you
precisely
going?
the reason why we can't touch you.
Interrogator Fox number 246, are you going against the orders of the Inquisition?
I mean, it was a suggestion, not an order.
Well, unfortunately, protocol is that we have to burn you.
Let's see where those rules are.
Regardless, let's get back on board for the ship. Our mission is complete here for the time being.
So, you all move to step onto the ship, and you notice that they've installed a couple human seats with seatbelts.
Thank God.
Folks 333. Sorry.
Brad is going to look towards one of the other foxes and say, "Do you guys have some kind of quarantine area for this one?"
They glance towards 246 and then glance back. What?
He's irradiated and also has contraband.
They tilt their head. Contraband? Ooh, let me see.
What contraband are you talking about? You talking about the stuff that I picked up earlier?
Yes.
Oh, you really want me to show them that?
Probably be best if you didn't.
That you said you wanted it out. I mean, I can bring it out. He just like brings it out. He just shows it to the other foxes.
The foxes begin to crowd around it and they go, "Ooh, listen to it. Ooh. Yeah, this is a class A contraband. You got the good stuff here."
Yeah, it's all chaosy and evil and stuff.
I'll trade you for it. I'll trade you. Bleh. And you see another sort of idol that's similar to the temple that you guys, went to and the orcs, but it's made properly, and they've just put it out, and looking at it makes your eyes sting. And they put it out and they just show it to folks and go, "I'll trade you this for it."
Can you not?
You are
That
actively
was pretty cool.
trading and showing off heretical contraband to each other. Could you not?
Okay, who do you think has to get rid of this stuff?
You all do.
Yeah, might as well have some fun with it.
I'm starting to understand why this hive mind Xenos is on a higher rank than us.
Yeah, no kidding.
Are you willing to throw in a bar of chocolate with that?
Ooh, you drive a hard bargain. Roll me persuasion. Okay. Deal. They spit out a full candy bar, wrapper and all.
Fox takes the candy bar and the idol and slides over what he's got to the other fox.
The other folks eats it, and then they smack their lips and go, heretical words. My favorite.
Good trade.
Do you eat the false idol?
He eats the false idol and the chocolate bar.
Alright, remember to add the false idol to your inventory.
Oh,
It's now whispering a different sort of heretical talk into your ears. To put it in music terms, the books were classical piano, and this one is more like, what would an idol be? Pop music.
ah, neat.
So, sorry.
Okay, but seriously, this guy is heavily irradiated. If he touches any one of us, we will die, so...
They look around a bit and then they crawl, dig open one of the hatches, and it reveals like a messy bit of wiring and cable that has been arranged into almost a bed. And then they motion to it. You can sleep here.
I'm sure that putting a heavily irradiated fox into that bundle of wires will definitely not do anything dangerous. Yep, that looks like a great bed.
They nod. Do you lay down in it?
Yes. Yes, he lays down in it.
Alright, they start putting the hatch back on. We'll open it to give you food.
Make it the good food.
It will be chocolate. The hatch closes. And then 333 turns to you and then says, "There, contained." And they head into the cockpit with a nod. So you all buckle in?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, in comparison to your trip, which took 2 months, this trip takes, oh, the ship was in the area, wasn't it? Yeah. 1 week. There's not a lot of food on there. Mostly it's just chocolate. But you guys do have a little bit of food from, you guys have rations, military grade rations. But yeah, the only other food on board is chocolate. At least they've got water,
Ugh.
Yeah, you'd have trouble. It's like one of those, little water coolers. It's got a dog bowl underneath that it slowly drips water into. So, after a week of travel, you guys arrive back on the ship.
Ugh. Finally.
Feels nice to get out of those radiation suits.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, by the way, Brad? Still a little sick?
I never want to see another chocolate bar ever again.
Not. At least be thankful it's not cornstarch.
Yeah.
Now, time for a little recuperation, training, and prayer.
Okay. All right. 246, it's been nice knowing you. Please go to the incinerator.
I still haven't shown me where it says I have to do that.
You are literally a hive mind.
That is true. I can check the others to see where it says I have to do that.
So,
Well,
sorry, I was eating chocolate. So,
fine.
333, the one you did the trade with, comes over and smiles and says, "Let's go together."
Right, because you have the other stuff in you.
Pardon?
Because that one's got the other stuff in it.
Yeah, that one has the other contraband in it.
Alright, well, fair enough, I guess.
So, you and 333 walk towards the incinerator. The guy looks to you and then goes, "Very well, hop onto the stand." You hop into the stand, it's lifted up, and then you're pushed into the furnace, and you appear in the captain's office, right next to 333. Looking at your mother, folks number 1.
I have a mother? Oh boy.
Yep.
Well, technically it's a hive mind, so it's technically also folks, but this is the folks that can.
original.
Right.
This is the folks that makes the copies. So yeah,
The origin.
you look to your inquisitor, and they smile at you and then say, "Oh, hey, welcome back. How did your mission go?"
I always hate when we have to do that. My mission went fine, though.
Good, good. Anything interesting? Anything you need? You all good?
My guys kept complaining about radiation the entire time.
Oh yeah. They briefly look up a bit, as if thinking on things. Yeah, I haven't actually taught you guys about radiation, have I?
Yeah, apparently, it kills them or something.
Yeah, it does do that.
Yeah. Weird.
Why? And she pauses for a moment and walks over to a library, to a computer, and then types things in, presses print, and pulls out a picture of, the scene from Indiana Jones where the person is melting?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
From Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. So they show Inquisitor Fawkes shows Fawkes that image and says, "Yeah, it looks pretty interesting, doesn't it, when it happens? They can actually melt from it."
Huh. Oh, so they're kind of like us then.
Fawkes nods.
Right. Well, I don't see why they're complaining. Oh, right, they don't come back.
Yeah, they can't recover.
Yeah.
Once they melt, they can't unmelt. They are like an ice cream.
The forbidden ice cream.
I'll get you some ice cream as dessert.
Huh.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
I'll get it delivered to your quarters.
Awesome.
So, do you think you'd like to work with them longer?
Well, I mean, they weren't horrible. Not as bad as my last assignment was.
Oh yes, the ones that like to use you as target practice.
Yeah, they weren't great.
So,
I did learn how to dodge.
would you like to take them on as your assigned team?
I think they should probably agree to that too. I'm fine with it.
I'll ask again. She leans forward. Would you like to take them on as your assigned team?
We're just gonna assume that they don't get a right to talk about this. Okay, sure, yeah.
She nods, and then you see her open a book and she begins to write down, and she says, "Well, that's good, because if they had failed again, if they failed with one more Fawkes, I was going to have to get them thrown into the furnace."
Oh wow.
All right, the team is officially yours. You can name them, you can do whatever you want with them.
Awesome.
And if you happen to need, and if one of them happens to die or something, feel free to let me know and I'll requisition some more.
Sweet.
All right, you're dismissed.
All the feelings and none of the words to describe what they are. I'm just gonna go get more ice cream.
All right, I'll get the ice cream sent to you. Now, folks, 333, you found an idol? And as you exit, you hear folks excitedly telling them the tale of how they managed to survive while their entire team died because the idol had convinced them to kill seppuku.
No.
And
Sounds about right.
Great.
folks is nodding along and going, "Oh, interesting, interesting." And that's all you hear before the door closes. Do you return to everyone else?
Yeah.
All right. So while you're on your way, returning to everyone else, you guys are, relaxing in your quarters, and you see, one, you see someone open the door and come in and place down a giant tub of ice cream on the table, along with some bowls and spoons, and they just give you a nod and then they leave.
I'm guessing that may be for the next fox we will have.
I suppose.
The door opens and 246 enters.
Oh God, he's back.
Wow, you are insanely good at telling who's who.
So you are 246?
You are insanely less good at telling who's who, but yes.
You literally all look the same aside from the tags on your collars.
That's why I was more afraid. That's why I was more surprised with the first guy.
Been around long enough that I can remember your face.
That is impressive. Also terrifying, but impressive.
Uh,
Oh, hey, my ice cream's here.
Never underestimate the police officers of the Imperium. They keep the peace in order for a reason.
Louis just
That's
rolls
what-
her eyes and just stays quiet.
Fox would have responded to all of that, but by this point in time, he has already gone over to the ice cream and started sticking his paws straight into the tub.
Yeah.
Madam Louisa, should we go visit Lily now?
That sounds like a wonderful idea. After all this,
Ugh.
I think I best to go check on dear Lily.
Yeah.
Do give Lily my regards. Oh, and once you're back, Louisa, I would like to speak with you.
Louisa gives him a curious look, but then just nods her head yes.
So, while Fawkes enjoys their wonderful reward, you guys go to visit Lily. You head towards the place and home where you last saw her, but no one's home at the moment. So you head towards the laboratory and you find her assisting her newfound parents. Now you see this rib here is one of the more important ones. So it being broken means we have to remove it, otherwise it will puncture the lung.
Oh. How do we remove it? Do we just cut it?
Well, first we have to put them under. It's, inhumane to let them be conscious while we're literally digging around their guts.
Alright.
Here too.
He like takes out a notebook and starts scribbling down, just like put them to sleep in like scrawled handwriting.
Louisa looks a little troubled hearing that, but she goes, "Perhaps it's best not to interrupt them."
Yeah, I agree.
Really quick, you drew your parents, didn't you?
I have not yet.
Ah, how dare you? Okay, no problem then. Continue. You turn around, and they're back.
Lily's eyes like widen and she kind of drops what she's doing for a sec, runs over to Louisa, goes in for a hug, and then stops right before she does the hug, remembers that she still has gloves that are somewhat contaminated, and just yells, I gotta change them, and runs off to like get her gloves off first.
Well, why you say hello?
Smile.
Sorry.
She gives a fun smile. She goes, "Please don't rush there. I'd rather you not make a mistake while you're learning."
Parents chuckle a bit and they call out to Lil and say, "Well, while you're having fun with your friends, we'll get this guy put under so we can start the operation when you're ready."
Lily like screams from over at the sink as she's washing up her hands. For a few seconds, you can maybe hear her humming "Happy Birthday" to herself.
Oh yeah. Proper hand washing. It's always important.
Oh my gosh, my grandmother would make us do that when I was a kid. Sorry.
I had to do that in pastry college.
Sing the happy birthday song while you're washing your hands.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's proper hygiene to wash your hands for a certain amount of time. So they would teach us like rhymes or hymns to sing while you wash your hands. And then after that, they were clean.
First I've heard of it.
I had to learn it in college.
So, you wash your hands.
Lily returns with her clean hands, and now she is properly capable of hugging. Oh, she does.
Lisa has her arms open already and they gladly accepts the hug.
You guys took like so long. How was the mission?
Over.
Interesting to say the least, but finally over and done with, even though I still question sometimes whether whether they intentionally put us at risk on purpose or not.
I'm pretty sure they had no idea what radiation poisoning was.
Even then, you would think that someone who's in charge of a squad would be better knowledgeable to make sure their squad members stay alive.
They stuck you in a place with radiation? Even I know you're not supposed to go in places with radiation.
No human is, but unfortunately, it seems like their fox isn't very knowledgeable about the human body.
Yeah.
Ah.
We got hazmat suits though.
Which didn't do as much good.
Did someone get radiated?
You
Louisa
notice
just
that
bears a
Brad's arm
glance.
has been. You notice Brad's arm is heavily bandaged.
Oh. Brad, you should watch out for like if you start feeling nauseated later on, you should probably come back.
I'll keep that in mind.
Lily like continues to look at it as if she like kind of wants to get a look at it herself to make sure that they've actually healed that right. Training, but she doesn't seem to trust the work of the fox. She likes the foxes, but she does not trust their medical work.
Fair.
It wasn't the foxes that treated them, just to be clear. But you found your adoptive father walks over and says, do you remember what lesson number 1 was, Lily?
Lily just like frowns and then thinks and then pouts because she can't remember.
Because we haven't talked about it. Always get consent in writing.
Alright. But that all seems stupid. How are you supposed to get consent if you're off on like battlefields and stuff?
You said verbally, and if they groan or if they don't groan, you do it.
Oh. Got a pen though.
Lily like turns back around and like writes something scrawled onto her notebook that she had earlier, and it's just like a consent form, and all it says is like, "Can I look at your arm?" or "I can look at your arm," and then there's like an X and a line and just a little smiley face at the end of it, and she hands it out to Brad.
He just sighs. It's like, I trust you more than the foxes, that's for sure. And he signed it. He goes along with it.
Oh
Lily
god.
eagerly turns back to her adoptive dad and like smiles and just shows off the signature.
I'm so proud of you, Lily. Now remember, what's step number 2? He turns your notebook to the very first page, and step number 2 says, "Can we do ethical experiments on you?"
Oh god.
Oh, great.
Alright. Lily like turns back around and just smiles and in the most innocent, naive voice just asks,
Wait, can we do some ethical experiments on you?
He looks over to the doctor.
The doctor just shrugs and says, "It's part of our policy. If you want to dispute it, you'd have to go straight to the Inquisitor."
I want to talk to the Inquisitor right now. Fine.
And then step number 3, as you know, is just do medical stuff.
And don't try to kill them.
just in parentheses, don't kill them.
Now that one's an optional rule.
Doctor is supposed to heal people.
So Lily, having gone through steps 1 and 2, now finally gets to look at Brad's arm and make sure that it was properly treated.
All right. Well, I'm not too familiar with how you treat radiation, but I believe you have to take some sort of medication to help reduce the radiation slowly over time. You know what? Let me Google this. How to treat radiation.
That's you are asking me to call upon old knowledge. I learned about this.
Medications that speed up blood cell production, including new progen, may help the body heal and protect from infections. I was correct.
It is very-
though.
So yeah, the answer on how you treat radiation is you pump yourself full of drugs.
Oh,
I would think probably.
no
Reverse
wonder Brad
immunosuppression.
feels terrible.
Of course, Ninja, take the time you need. But yeah, Brad tells you about the medications they've been given, and while you don't recognize all the brands, you do recognize a couple of the names, and it's enough for you to say, well, actually, let's roll medical. Let's see how familiar you are.
Oh boy.
I would love to do that, but I don't think I have access to Lily's sheet anymore.
Oh,
There it is. I found it. No, I found it. It just took a sec.
yeah, I just moved it.
That's a
Oh, that was supposed to be
19.
Lily, but
Okay, so yeah, you're pretty sure based on the names you do recognize that they did indeed treat them properly and that they've given Brad medication to help slowly work the radiation out of their system. Like the arm is just the radiation damage, and once their body gets it under control, that will probably go away. But there is about a 25% chance they'll grow an extra arm.
No.
Oh. I mean, you might be a little more handy later on. That's a good thing, right?
Brad says nothing.
Here, wait, I know how to make this better. They've done almost everything, but they missed a very important step.
And Lily like runs off, goes to grab like a sheet of sticky notes, draws like a little heart and a very small bird on the sticky note, runs back over and very lightly like puts it onto like the wounded arm.
Right there. All better.
Uh, thanks, I guess.
You have to add the little love at the end, or it doesn't work.
Uh, your adoptive father puts a hand on your head and then says, "Isn't she just amazing? She's our little genius."
Yeah, she really is.
Lily just smiles at the praise.
You guys want to hear about all the bones that I know? Because I could name like all the bones now.
I'm good, thanks.
Oh, yeah. You want to hear about birds? I learned about birds too.
What kind of birds?
All the birds.
You learned about the firebird, the water bird, the bird, the words the bird, and the curdle bird.
Bird is really cool because it just looks like two birds stacked on top of each other. It's got like 4 wings, 2 beaks, and sometimes they fight with each other over who's dominant.
Huh.
Yeah. They didn't let me learn much about magic though, because they said that was too dangerous and I had to wait for Louisa to come back.
Well, of course, dear. Compared to them, I'm the one that knows more about that. So it's probably best to not practice here to help keep you in control.
I wanted to use it for a prank with Dad though.
Well, how about, since you guys are probably going to be here for a couple of days at least, how about we cancel your piano lesson tomorrow and you go and take magic lessons instead?
Really?
Just this once though.
Yes. Like
You're
Lily
learning-
turns around and looks at Louisa.
She looks a little bit surprised. She goes, "Piano, hmm? Well, as long as you don't mind missing that, I would be very much glad to begin your lessons."
We've been teaching her some methods of infiltration. See, there's certain high class societies that, well, knowing how to play piano is a requirement to really get in. And once she's of age, she's going to need further skills if she's going to rejoin you guys on the field. If she wishes to, she may, of course, wish to permanently stay on the ship with us, which is, of course, an option, but we just want to make sure she's well rounded so she can have a proper choice in the matter.
Ah, alright.
TLDR, they've been training you skills so that you're a more well-rounded agent. So you can decide whether you want to be medic or etc. etc.
Options. Woo.
So, what do you guys start heading back or
Yeah, sure.
Well, basically, yeah. All right. So you schedule that in, and Lily goes back to learning how to saw out a rib with her father. And of course, he's telling school some puns, as you do.
No.
Louisa just looks relieved that it seems Lily's not having too many difficulties with the new parents and the fact that her powers aren't like affecting her in a negative way currently. She's relieved for that part.
Okay. So you guys head back, and by this point, the ice cream is completely gone, and there's just a food coma fox on the table.
That little thing just demolished all of that. It was horrifying to see.
Glad I missed that.
I agree, she says as she just kind of just again looks annoyed at Fox.
So, how is Lily? Is she doing well?
She's doing good, adjusting pretty well to her new parents, and of course still broadening her medical knowledge in an interesting way.
Interesting how.
I'm no medical expert, but let's just say that Brad may have signed his soul. Might have, in a bit of a way, sold his soul to an interesting set of individuals.
And just hearing that is like, he didn't sign his soul over to chaos, did he?
What? No.
And what do you mean by signing your soul over?
I They have me sign for some ethical experimentation, he says in quotes.
Oh. Well then. That's fine.
So,
I hope it is.
But yeah. Since you're back, Louisa, shall we have that conversation?
As you wish.
Follow me if you would. And he takes her outside so they can just talk a little privately while staring out into space.
She follows. And just
there is no outside, there is only space. But you head to an area with a viewing window.
there.
Had to poke fun at that. Go on.
I imagine Lily did not have much to say about me, no?
He just wishes for us to be safe, that's all. And is glad to hear that we returned back from our recent exploits safely. If not, of course, was concerned hearing that we went to a place that was filled with radiation.
And I imagine you did not mention the Eldar were involved.
Of course not, dear, she says. Now she glances over to him. For young ones like Lily, if that memory caused trauma, then it's best not to bring it up, lest it cause her more issues.
Very well then. Speaking of which, I suppose I should finally just spit out what it is I wanted to say to you. I apologize.
Apologize for what?
It's rather clear that I don't understand your experience, and I'm sorry that my words brought up some unpleasantness before.
She just sighs heavily as she goes, "You were merely speaking your mind, dear. And your opinions based off of what you have experienced and grew up in. We both have grown up in different circumstances and believe in different things. I will say I was quite upset because it felt like as if you were trying to, in a way, reform my thinking. Perhaps that was your way of trying to reassure me, and for that I do appreciate. But don't expect me to suddenly change my views. I am much older than you and seen very many things in a different perspective. I've experienced different things as well, and I've lived through different things. There is a reason why I am not fond of this position that we are in, risking our lives day to day for this so called grand endeavor from the Emperor. She just scowls, looking upset, but then she closes her eyes to calm down and she goes, "But you believe in this cause. And I need to learn to respect that, even if I may not agree."
I merely just want you to know that, regardless of what others have told you, my opinion of you still stands. Granted, of course, I am willing to admit I can't understand what you've been through. I couldn't even begin to. But the words
No.
I said to you are true. I consider you human. I consider you an ally. And to you and many others, it's a curse. But it's something that will help us achieve, well, achieve some semblance of peace. That's how I see it.
That is a grand thing to believe in, dear. We all need to have something to believe in, I suppose. I, for one, have somewhat given up. But it is nice to see at least that you have it. And she actually like takes a moment that she actually looks a little bit sad. She goes, "I just don't want you to be disappointed in the end. You believe very firmly in this, but I, for one, have no faith in not only our employment," she says, glancing back over to thinking about Fox and all the shenanigans this creature has been putting them through.
Ice cream.
"I just merely don't want us to be used."
Humanity's enemies are many, Louisa. And come what may, we'll deal with each trial and tribulation as it comes. At the end of the day, there is one thing that will always be unshakable to me. I believe in mankind's ability to survive. And I will gladly rip apart any who will stand in the way of that survival.
Kind of stares at him through her veil, quietly contemplating, and then she goes, "That I do believe in. But that that belief does not come from the Emperor or the whole Inquisition. That comes from just you. You have these strong views, dear, and these strong opinions about mankind overall. That doesn't stem from the Emperor or his teachings or what you've been taught." She like turns around to face him fully as she sounding sincere for once, and she goes, "That faith is all you."
He just sort of smiles, regardless of where it comes from. Wait, I consider you well, you are more than my work colleague. You are my ally. And I do care for you, where others may not.
She just gives a huff as she goes, "You shouldn't really care about an old lady like myself, dear. It's those like Lily who we need to think about the most."
Of course, I do care for Lily. She just doesn't care much for me. But there's an old saying amongst the Imperial Guard. I'm sure you probably heard it every now and again. Fear the old in a profession where men die young. And considering your own age and the profession we're in, the fact that well, that is somewhat of a testament to your own skills.
Rita just kind of shakes her head with a small smile. She goes, "If you truly believe that Lily does not care for you, then you do not know the child well at all.
Well, she doesn't see me that positively compared to everyone else.
But she is also not one to hold grudges either, dear. And you forget, and do not forget, she is learning the medical field. Whether she hates you or not, she will ensure you that you will not die.
I'm aware.
It is not in her character to let someone perish just because of a small grudge."
I'm aware. She's not heartless. I'm aware of that. But that's all I really wish to say. Just that I spoke with Brad and he helped me come to understand that, well, yes, just because we're all human, that doesn't mean we'll all see the same things as, well, I do.
Yes, and you will probably not see things the way I do either. But regardless, as you said, we are in this together currently, willing or not. And while I have lived long enough and believe that death will come for me sooner or later, we do have a reason to live. And I am going to try to stay alive for as long as I'm able to. Whether to see this grand endeavor the Emperor has for us done, or to at least ensure that Lily has a proper future. Whichever comes first.
Mm, a fine plan indeed. Well, that's all I wish to say. I think I'll stay here a little while and watch the stars.
Uh, Louisa just nods and then she just silently walks away.
And there we go. All good.
All right. So we've still got a little bit of time left. It's up to you guys. We can do we can do Lily learning magic, or we can save that for next week.
Hmm.
Save it for next week. It's probably going to take a bit.
Yeah, especially because where we can hopefully have Neku back. I don't want to go too far without him.
Sure thing. So, are there any last things you guys would like to do?
Not really. Brad is
Actually,
totally out of it right now because of medication.
just a one small thing. Like, just it's not going to be an exchange. Just a small thing to cap off the session, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
Bless you.
After thinking and staring out down the space for a little bit, Owen takes a deep breath, sighs, and he begins to walk. Again, sorry.
Bless you.
And he goes up to the medical deck. And he looks around and, well, finds Lily. Does she look his way?
She has probably just finished up her lesson with the bones. And so she's off, like, kind of washing her hands, and for a second, she thinks that she might see a glimpse of someone. And there's a wee bit of excitement because she thinks it might be like Louisa coming back to teach her magic, or maybe Brad coming back to talk about some stuff. And there is like a visible moment where she kind of like flinches when she sees who it actually is, and then she kind of just goes back to washing her hands quickly.
By the way, just before Alex starts, you were given the bone that was removed, the rib that was removed as a souvenir.
Alright, she just has a bone in her lab coat pocket.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Otherwise, you may start.
But yeah, Owen just sort of, sighs a little bit to himself, steps in and just pats Lily's head. I just figured I'd come and see how you're getting along. That's all. I hope you're doing well.
Lily kind of like she looks like a dog, but not like an overly friendly one that's like super excited, but one that's just like slightly confused as to why it's being touched. Like she's got that look of almost slight reluctance, but also like she's not running away either. She just looks mostly confused.
Deer in headlights.
But yeah, he just gives her a smile and he says, "Well, I won't hold you up from your duties. See you again soon." And he takes his leave.
He just like watches him leave and like looks down at her hands and then like raises one up and like smooths down like where he had touched her. She kind of thinks for a second and she kind of questions the entire exchange in her mind because she has like this whole view of like Owen was bad and Owen wanted to take away my dog essentially, except it was a fox and this and that. And then she's just been like given goodwill, and so now she's just incredibly confused.
Been given goodwill.
You mean people can be multi-layered? What?
Oh. Oh my god, that was a good one.
But yeah, that was just all I wanted to do. Just that little thing.
Alright. So, we'll probably wrap up here. You think someone could write a very quick summary for Neku?
Already on it.
Thank you. Alright. Then with that, we will wrap this session up here. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.